Hi YouTube, this is Archon633 back with another Transformers review. Today we're going to take a look at the Transformers Power of the Primes Deluxe Class Dinobot Snarl. Now this finishes the 5 Dinobot releases by Hasbro, and I'm very glad to finally get a hold of all 5 of the Dinobots all together. So anyways, we're now going to take a look at the presentation and contents. As usual, we're going to start with the card first. So up here, we have a picture of Snarl's Stegosaurus mode, and also down here with this toy design. On the back, we have a picture of both modes. We have a little bio, transfers in 13 steps, and promotion once again of 3 Prime Masters. In the box, you're going to get a collector's card once again. Mine is Alchemist Snarl. Comes with 1 sword and the hand-foot gun piece once again. So it is still frustrating to see that these Dinobots still don't come with 2 weapons, but since we do have all 5, I still appreciate what we've gotten. So with that, once again, I gave it a 4.5 stars. Now move on to the features, which, as usual, means transformation and articulation. So in terms of articulation, the head can swivel, and it actually is on a ball joint, so you're actually going to have a little bit of movement up and down, although not so much up, but it does move down pretty decent. He does have ball joints in the shoulders and kind of another joint due to the way that it transforms. He does have swivels at the biceps, ratchets at the elbows, although they don't have as much crunch as I had with Sludge. He does have some wrist articulation due to transformation, 360 waist, ball joints at the hips, swivels at the thighs, just under 90 degrees for knees, and that's about it. In terms of other features in this mode, he does include the ability to attach the piece again. We're going to slide this off and attach the Prime Master early. So it looks like that. And it does peg in once again, which I really don't like this particular gimmick. So now we're going to move on to the transformation. So the transform, we're going to move the tail pieces like that. And from here, we're going to collapse the head inside. We're going to move the tail pieces so that they peg together and they close up that area there. We're going to move the wrists into the arms there. Pull up these plate panels. Turn this around. From here, we're going to open up the leg compartments. This is where it gets a little bit tricky because of the way that these panels do kind of bump in the way when you actually transform it. But once you do, it should slide in pretty well. So we're going to slide this in. And actually, this figure, I forgot we actually keep it in that position, so I get confused sometimes. So now we're going to plug these together and they'll slide down. This looks like that. We're going to close off these panels down here. Do need to kind of push them together in some ways so they actually plug properly. From here, we're going to push up and push the the head pieces together. So we're going to move the legs forward. And then from here, we're going to bend the knees so that they actually form in this kind of angled position. And from there, we have Snarl in his Stegosaurus mode. And here's a closer look at Snarl in his Stegosaurus mode. Now from here, you're not going to really get as much articulation as it is supposed to be a Stegosaurus. He does maintain the same joints, although he does have that other joint there, but that's mainly due to transformation. He does have swivels there, and the same ratchets on the arms there. Fortunately, the front legs just have 1 joint. It doesn't have any of the joints there, so you're not going to get a whole lot there. And he does maintain the Prime Master gimmick, which you can place a Prime Master up on these little peg pieces there. But this time you can kind of make him have 2 kind of sitting on top if you wish to. So it looks something like that. It's a little goofy, but you pretty much get the idea. But you're not going to really get anything else out of this mode. So overall, I think it's still really nice. Overall, it does look accurate in both of his modes, and the transformation is definitely a lot better than some of the other Dinobots, since there's a lot less problems with alignment because of the way that the front part of the body forms. So I give this a 5 out of 5. And in terms of overall value, once again, it's about the same retail price, around $17. So I think this is definitely worth the price it's going for, since you're going to get what you need from it outside of the fact it is still missing the secondary weapon, and it's still nice in both modes. So I give that a 5 out of 5 as well. And now we're going to move on to some comparisons. First, we're going to take a look at the G1 toy and the new generations released side by side in their robot modes. It's definitely very reminiscent of its original G1 design, but due to the way that the G1 design looked, it looked very strange and overall lanky that it needed to be, so I actually really prefer what they did with the new release. But it's understandable since these original G1 toys were mostly based on the Diaclone and Microman line. So anyways, we're going to take a look at them in their beast modes next. And here's the two Snarls side by side. Now this is where it gets kind of strange. As you can see with the G1 design, it's a lot taller, and the way that the plates are designed, it's definitely a lot different. It does have a lot more chrome, since obviously it doesn't have the chrome on the new design. But this is where it's kind of a problem with the old toy because of its age. It doesn't really hold well together at all. And I think the translucent parts on the chrome really doesn't help it in the long run. So I actually prefer what they did with the new design. But I could see what they were getting at with the original toy as well. Now we have all the generations releases of the Dinobots together. It's really nice to finally get a hold of all 5 of them next to them side by side, and they look nice in their robot modes. So now we're going to take a look at them in their beast modes. I have to say off the bat, this is quite beautiful to actually see all the Dinobots finally side by side. Throughout the many years that Hasbro's released various Dinobots throughout the various lines, I'm very happy to actually get a hold of all 5 Dinobots in one sitting. However, this isn't actually all what Snarl does, and I actually left this to the end of the video since it doesn't really do anything for the actual toy itself in terms of overall presentation. So now we're going to take a look at their combined form, Volcanicus. Now we have Volcanicus fully combined. Now for time constraints, I actually transformed and combined them off screen. Since it does take a little bit of intricacy in order to transform the limbs, you do need to kind of mismatch the actual transformation and kind of go halfway in pretty much all of them in order to form this formation. Since it is a Scramble City style combination, you can change the arms and legs if you wish to, but this is pretty much the preferred way that it is already in the design. Fortunately, it does not have any other bigger weapons, and you can use the weapons from the individual Dinobots, but you're not going to get a whole lot out of that. In terms of articulation, it does maintain the same joints as if it was a Combiner Wars limb, same thing with the arms and then the legs as well. So you do have some pretty decent articulation, although it's definitely not the most sturdy combiner I've seen. It's definitely not Menace or bad, but it's definitely not the best formation out there, although the toy itself is pretty cool. So overall, that pretty much covers my review for Snarl. Since there's a whole lot going for it, since you do have a lot of play value, especially for Volcanicus and the individual Dinobot forms, I definitely do recommend tracking one down. I actually forgot to mention I got both Snarl and Sludge on Amazon, and it's probably the best place to get it since they have been going in and out of stock frequently throughout the last couple of weeks. So I highly recommend tracking one down from there. Anyways, please comment, rate, and subscribe, and check out Hero Club and Hirotaku. Also check out Twitter, Darkon633. Same thing for me under Instagram under Darkon633. Please check a little bit out the bottom of the screen in order to see my content go up as soon as possible, and please check down the other channels down below. I'll be back with more Transformers reviews, but for now, I'll be seeing you later, YouTube. Bye.